Hi. I didn't know we were on live right now. I was just like waiting. But we are. We're here. I'm a couple minutes late, but it's all good. We made it. Okay. Very important topic today. Something you've probably all experienced is playing small. Not playing up to your potential. Thinking that you playing small or you not going after your greatness is going to help others. That it's going to make it so they have more. Diminishing yourself as a way of, well, you know, if I become this great thing, then that's going to take away from others. And that's definitely not the case. So I definitely want to talk about that today. Let's see who's all here. Is it free play? Fed play. Good morning, Nana. Hey, Mr. Howard. Hey, Jasmine Vlogs. Hey, Paris. Sub-Zero Strikers is here. Nicola's here. Emily. Derek's here. I don't know, Derek. I haven't really thought about it. It's been a very busy week. And I'm going out of town next week. I've got a lot to do and a lot to get ready. Mary Ann's here. Paris, I'm doing good. I want to talk to you guys about, do you ever play small? Do you ever think, oh, I gotta be less in order for somebody else to be more? Do you ever hide your greatness because you think it's intimidating to others, or others won't feel comfortable if you allow yourself to shine? Hey, Jojo. Hey, Molly. And yes, Nicola is talking about a personalized video I made for her that she just loved and was sobbing. Hey, Mainly Smashing. Hey, Coco Goat. I'm on Cameo, so I get so many requests for videos that I just, like in my social media, that I just can't get to them all. And so I'm on Cameo. If you guys aren't familiar with that, that's an app that, hey Christina, hey Rodrigo, it's an app that a lot of celebrities or micro celebrities or YouTube people, TV people are on, where their fans can pay a small fee to get personalized videos from them. Hey Christina, hey Josu. So people send me requests, like if they have a birthday or they want a shout out or whatever, then I can make a personalized video or a pep talk. One time a mother even paid me a couple different times to roast her child and put him down and make fun of him. It was weird. I was like, I mean, I get it was a joke, but I was like, you're gonna pay me to like say bad things about your kid? But people will make requests. So anyway, I do not have shoots today. I do not work on Sundays. So see, he's gonna be tempted to take that. I've got a couple visitors in here. Ooh. Next to my pile of books, I usually sit there and read my piles of books. So my sons are doing well. I told myself I'm going to remember to turn off this light before I get on with you guys, and then I didn't remember. I feel like that light's distracting. So hold on a sec. Okay, cool. Yes. Christina's asking what my 2024 goal is. And I was just talking about that yesterday. I'm not 100% dialed in with what that goal is. I'm still working on my 2023 goals. So I'm not sure yet. If you guys want to know, ask me closer to the end of the year. That'd be a great idea. Hey Ninja Flaming Ice. So do you guys think that if you reach your highest potential, if you go for it in life and you become great, like the best you could possibly be, do you think that would be taking away from others? Do you ever feel like that? Because sometimes I hear people say, and I kind of used to think the same thing, well, if I have all this, then that's taking away from others. If I do all this, I have to leave a piece of the pie for others. I can't just be greedy and have all this success, because then, you know, have you ever felt that way? So that's like what we're gonna talk about. So becoming your greatest. What is it for you what you could do to become your greatest best? Where is it in your life right now where you're playing small? Hey, gluten-free. Where is it that you are holding back because you're like, well, I don't want to be out in front. I don't want, I don't want people to think that I think I'm so great. Have you ever had those thoughts? I remember hearing back, 15 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I'm new to acting, and I had low self-esteem. I didn't think I was that great. I did not think I was pretty. I did not think I was whatever. And so I would purposely, when I would go to networking parties, I would purposely downplay my gifts and my talents. I would hold myself back because I was told by certain people that, oh, you're just trying to be better than me. You're just trying to whatever. And I had heard they were intimidated by my presence. So I tried to downplay my gifts and talents. I tried to not act, I kind of tried to act like I wasn't as smart as I was. I tried to, just so other people wouldn't feel intimidated. I hid my light because I saw that it had bothered others. What are the places in your life that you do that? Think about that for a minute. Where have you held back because somebody told you, oh, you just think you're all that. You just think you're blah, blah, blah. You just want to be better than me. And that, oh, look at where I'm sitting. I have a crown on my head. And that's not your intention at all. You're just trying to use all the gifts in you that God has given you. So what is it that where you feel like you've hidden yourself? You've hidden your gifts. You've hidden your talents. Is this the real Catherine? Someone asks. I don't have a stand-in on my channel, so that's kind of an interesting question. Mona's here. Where have you hidden your gifts and your talents because people have put you down and said, you think you're better than us? You think you're just going out there and showing off. When that's not the case at all. It's just that when you do your best, it exposes that they are mediocre. Think about that for a minute. So Coco Goat says, I sometimes have to hold myself back so that they will not be intimidated and not approach me because they think my standards are high when communicating. Yeah. So where are we holding back? Now there's certain times, like in communication, if for instance someone doesn't have as high of a degree or level of smarts as you, sometimes you have to, hi Clikes, not necessarily hold yourself back, but maybe,
please open it.
Okay, maybe speak at a level that they understand, and then, because communication is key, right? Communication is key, so we have to make sure people understand us. So I wouldn't necessarily consider holding yourself back. It's more about, can they understand my level of communication? So if that's what you mean, sometimes we have to speak at a level where people will understand us, and that's not what I mean at all. But like, hey Elliot, hey NNP. So NNP heard Sophia is back at Darman. That's a whole separate thing, but I don't know if she's back. It sounded like she's stepping in for a few special episodes with Sniper Wolf. So it's just they called her for these specific special episodes. because her and Sniper kind of look alike, and so I don't want to give too much away, but they're playing sisters. Yeah, kind of cool. So holding yourself back because you don't want people to think that you're better than them. You know what? People are going to think what they're going to think. And we can't stop people from thinking what they're going to think. Even if we have the best heart, the best intentions, we want to do something that is helpful to everyone, we want to live up to our calling, people might still think, oh, you think you're better. Hey, Hannah. I'm supposed to give you a shout out. Hey. People are going to think what they're going to think, whether you're trying to be better than anyone. Right? People are going to think what they're going to think. So I want to ask you, why would you not want to max out every area of your life? Why would you not want to be the best at everything you put your hands to do? You know, it's interesting when people talk about their health and you say, how healthy do you want to be? They're like, well, I want to be as healthy as I can be. I mean, I don't want to have any sickness. I don't want to have disease. I want to be as healthy as I can be. Or you ask them, like, when you're doing a job, do you want to do just a mediocre job? No, I want to do the best job I can do. I want to do the best job I can do. When you ask them, like, what kind of grades do you want to make in school? Oh, well, I want to make the best grades I can make. I want to, get the best. But then you ask them, how much money do you want to make? Oh, I not that much. Just enough to cover my bills. I don't want to have too much. I just want to make enough to cover my bills. And you're like, well, you want to be the best in your health. You want to be the best in your grades. You want to be the best. You don't want to max out your ability to make money. It's just weird. This is sort of off topic, but it made me think of, why don't you want to be the best in every area of your life? Why don't you want to, Nugget? He took my highlighter and he's chewing it up. I need to grab it from him so he doesn't choke on it and get his white fur all yellow from the highlighter. Hey, Nugget. Too late. He chewed the end off. I thought I could save it, but where's the bottom of this? He's like looking at me like, give that to me. Give that to me. Okay, we're not going to give it to you though. So why don't you want to max out every area of your life? You know, somehow we have this false teaching that only, like, if you're rich, you're evil. And those are not, they do not go together. What wealth does, what money does, is it just amplifies who you already are. So if you're a kind and generous person, once you have money, you become more generous with your money. You're like, oh, now I finally can help all these people. If you're already stingy, greedy, and selfish, having more money is just going to amplify that part of you. So money is neutral. You know, it's not good or bad. It's the person who has it, right? So maxing out every area of your life, it occurred to me one day, if I say I only want enough for me and my family, that's being selfish. We think, oh, that's being holy. We're not being greedy. We want everybody to have equality. But if you can make more and then you can help the people, you can fund the organizations, you can pay for the medicine that people need. You can, when a tragedy happens, a hurricane or monsoon, you can send money for relief, for food. You can put underprivileged people through college. There's so much good you can do. So, like, why not want to have more in every area of your life? More health, more happiness, more wealth, to help more people. Okay, let me check out some of your comments. Yes, Mischief Mikey, first episode is out. I think it's a 4-episode run on that one, because we had just done 6 episodes of the Jay and Mikey series. Plykes, I don't know who my favorite person is I've acted with, because everybody there is great. Let's see. Jay says money doesn't always solve your problems. Now, having immorality would solve your problem, but money corrupts if you're not careful. I don't think I agree with that. Oh, I read it wrong. Immortality. I don't think that would solve your problem either. So either way, I'm not on board with that. But money does not corrupt. It just exposes who you are. So if you don't have God at the center of your life, you got to be listening to someone. So you're either listening to God or you're listening to the devil. So one will corrupt you, one will not. Money will just amplify who you are. But Nicholas said, I had a dream that I was attending a conference and you and Allison were there. Oh, that's cool. So we've got that out of the way. Do you think if you play small, that it leaves room for others to play big? Do you think I'm playing small, so it's leaving room for others to be able to do their thing? I don't want to take up, I don't want to shine in all my greatness. I don't want to take up all of this. You don't have to worry about that, about making room, because those who are big will create their own room. You don't have to worry about if I play small, I want to make sure there's enough for everybody. Here's what we can equate it to. Okay, let me see what Coco Goat is saying. What can you do when they think that you're doing everything wholeheartedly just to show off, to get everybody to love you? One time I was confronted because they think I'm trying to get promoted. That's the thing. When people speak, they're just revealing what's inside their heart. It has nothing to do with you. This took me a long time to learn. It took me a long time to learn to get to that place where oh my God, they said I'm doing it for this. I've spoke about this a couple times. When I decided to eat healthier and I decided to go vegan and quit eating animal products, I had a friend of mine confront me saying, she was just yelling at me. She was so angry with me because she's accusing me of being vain and selfish and stuck on myself. I'm like, all I'm doing is deciding to eat more fruits and vegetables. It's healthy to eat more fruits and vegetables. Why? But the reason she was angry is because it was exposing her, like I mentioned. When you decide to be your greatness, it exposes other people's mediocrity. Now, she was a junk food fanatic, everything wrapped in bacon, eating steaks and eating full-size, family-sized bags of peanut M&Ms. And she loved for us to sit and eat this chunky monkey Ben & Jerry's ice cream together, all of this. Right, Jay says, how is being vegan selfish? Right, I'm not killing animals, so... But it exposed her. So since she didn't have a partner in crime to eat junk food with anymore, she started accusing me of being selfish and all this stuff. So when you're being accused, when someone is saying, you're doing this because you're selfish, if you want to go back to school, if you want to better yourself, if you want to learn, if you want to get a different degree, you want to start going to the gym and working out, some people don't like that because they like who you used to be. Yes, Nicola, I'm plant-based, vegan, and gluten-free. Gluten-free is, I really try hard because I feel like it's not always possible. But I have bad reactions when I eat gluten. So they'll say, oh, you're just doing this to get whatever. But you know your heart and you know your intentions. And that's why the Bible says in the book of Samuel, man judges by outward appearance, but God judges the heart. So if you know why you're doing something, don't let somebody rattle you and shake you and throw you off by their comments, because all that does is expose what's inside them. So the book of Proverbs tells us, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What does that mean? People are going to say what's deep down inside them. So if you ever want to get to know a person, this is important. Keep your mouth shut. Be kind. Be like, hey, how are you? What is it? Like, ask them questions. Like, what is it about you? What do you like? What is this? What is that? Tell me about what's your plans for the future? What, and start finding out more and more about them, and keep your mouth closed. I know it's exciting to want to like share your story and share your life, but you don't yet know if that person qualifies to hear about you and your secrets. You are a precious gift. You are like that pearl in the clamshell. And it's best if you keep closed until you know it's safe to open up and show them your pearl inside. There's a scripture, I think also in Proverbs, that says you don't want to throw your pearl before swines. So you got to find out if people are swines first before you start sharing your pearls with them, because it says they will trample your pearls under feet. Have you ever been in a situation where you were vulnerable with someone too early? You didn't get to find out if they were worthy to hear about you. You shared some personal information. They spread it around. They told people. They hurt you because you thought you told them in confidence, and they blabbed it to everyone, and they totally destroyed you. Yes, it's a horrible thing for them to do, but part of it is our fault for sharing too soon. Now, I'm not saying be all secretive and be guarded, because you guys see me on here, and I'm sharing personal things. In the art of service, in the art of helping you guys, reach that next level, become who you need to be. Because I'm a coach, because I'm, a life coach, a trainer, a teacher, a speaker, I have to share some personal things in order to get you transformed and get you to the place you need to be. But there are many things I hold back. There are many things you don't know. There are many things that you don't share publicly. Now, there's many influencers that have shared things publicly online that they regret. So you have to know the right time, the right place. For instance, there's things in my online course I shared deeper and more personal things than I did in the You Are Worthy book. So I have the You Are Worthy book, but it's a smaller, more condensed version that doesn't go as deep as the course. And in the course, I share deeper, more personal things that I don't share in the book. It requires a different level of commitment. Yes, Jarrell, we got a dog on Father's Day, so we're still getting used to him. Okay, let's see. I'm checking out some of your comments. Jay says we live in a condescending world. Oh, Suzetta. Yes, she told me she had her baby now, 2 weeks old. That is amazing. Oysters make pearls, not clams, Marianne said. Now we know. We got educated on that one. So, pearls are in oysters and not clams. I didn't know. At least that way in New England. I don't know. Maybe someone could look that up. Is it only oysters that make pearls, or do clams make some too? Let's all find out and get educated on that one. But the point of the story is the same. You don't open up, no matter if you're a clam or an oyster, and show your pearls until you know it's safe to do so, right? So Jay says, I normally keep to myself as well as other people's personal lives when they tell me.
Mommy!
You should always tell people stuff in confidence.
Mommy, you hit me on the head with a feet.
He hit you?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to deal with that after the live stream.
No, you have to do it now.
Honey, we're going to deal with that after the live stream. Elijah? Yeah, we're not going to deal with this right now, okay? But we will deal with it, okay?
Thank you.
So, thank you. Brothers. That's tough being brothers. I had a brother. He wasn't always kind to me either. Coco says, you have a great gift of encouragement, Catherine. I wish I could have attended your live streams more often. Well, the good news is they're on here and you can go back and watch them. For those of you who've missed them, go back and watch them. And do you know that if you look at the on YouTube, if you want to go through a live stream or something faster, because they are an hour long, I understand. If you click the button, the icon that looks like a gear, and a pull-down menu will come and it will show playback speed. So sometimes if I'm watching a long video and people talk kind of slow, I will watch it at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed. So you can watch it back a little faster. I feel like we can listen faster than we talk. So that way you can get the great content that we've taught about and refresh your memory on certain, encouragement and lessons, and you don't have to take the full hour to do it. So if you guys didn't know that little trick, that is a trick I use sometimes when I'm watching longer videos. I'll play it back on a faster speed, and you're still getting the same content. It'll just be like I'm giving it the content to you faster, so you're gonna hear it a little bit better. You're still gonna hear it. So that's a great idea too. Okay, so I'm gonna speaking on this topic of are you being your greatness? All right, Marianne just looked it up. Okay, here's our lesson for today. Google says oysters, mollusks, and clams make pearls. Hey, now we know. I didn't know mollusks did. So now we know there's three sea creatures that make. So you're saying pearls only come 1 out of every 100,000 clams? So it's not that common. Interesting. Oh yeah, different time in the Philippines. I know. I have a virtual assistant that lives in the Philippines, and timing is different. It's afternoon there when it's morning here. Or is it night there? No, maybe it's night there. You live there. So I want to teach you guys something that I learned at that conference I went to, the Make More Offers Challenge. You've heard me talk about Myron Golden before. He's one of my favorite online Bible teachers that also teaches success. So Jay said it's 4:30 in the afternoon in the UK. So what Myron was talking about, so we're talking about is your greatness, is that taking away from others? And it's not. And that's why Myron talks about in the garden, God made us in the Garden of Eden, right? He put us into a garden. He did not create us in a bakery. What does that mean? What am I talking about? We were created in a garden rather than a bakery, because in a bakery, consumption, that's eating something, creates reduction. That means you'll have less of it. Whereas when you're in a garden, eating something like fruit creates multiplication. So we, in God's design, in God's kingdom, we never have to worry that if I have all that I need and want, that it's taking away from someone else. Hey, Mama Bama. It's not taking away from someone else. So if God had placed us in a bakery and we had a piece of pie, and there's all these people, if I wanted to have half the pie, that would only leave half to share with others. My consumption would create reduction. But that's not how it is in the world. So we don't have to walk around and act like if I get all I want to have, that it's taking from someone else. If I eat this loaf of bread, then there's one less loaf of bread to share with you. No, he created us in a garden. And he knew when we could eat as much fruit as we wanted. And when we spit out the seeds, those seeds would turn into trees. And who knows how many fruit could grow from those seeds. There's a famous quote, I don't remember who said it, but it says something like, we can count the seeds in an apple, but only God can count the apples in a seed. In the garden, you eat a piece of fruit, you spit out the seeds, it can go back into the ground and grow into more abundance. And there's something about us that God put us there to show us. When you max out your life, when you become your greatest version of you, that actually opens the door to leave room for others to be inspired by you, to see what you're doing, to plant the seeds that you need to plant so others can come behind you and get that fruit to eat. Isn't that cool? So God doesn't operate in a shrinking environment. When you max out your life, your gifts, your calling, it doesn't take away from anyone else. It actually helps you grow. It helps others grow around you because they get inspired by what you do. You're planting the seeds. When you have more than enough, you can share with others. You can give more. You can do more. So when you do that, there's no such thing as running out. You don't run out. There is no lack.
Can you give me some more grape juice?
Not right now. Ask Timmy to help you because I'm on
No,
my
we
live
drink
stream.
it all.
Okay. Timmy, can you get Timmy, when you're done, get Eli some more juice, okay? Okay. Okay. Not right now. I'm on my live stream, honey. So, Timmy will get it for you. You don't need to whine. Hey. So we're not going to run out. It's a supply that doesn't end. When we max out our greatness, Timmy will get you some juice when he's out of the bathroom. When we max out our greatness, there's more. There's more. There's always more. We're not taking away. Yeah, he wants more juice. We're not taking away from others by being our best and being our greatest. So in Genesis 1:29, Elijah, honey, when Timmy gets out of the bathroom, he will give you more juice. Okay. Do you want to get grounded? Do you want to have a timeout? Would you like a timeout? Because I can arrange that. So God planted a seed of Him in us, just like when we do. Okay, I think he wants some attention. I think he needs some attention because I tried to get him to leave and he just gets louder. So even when I gave him the mean look, I gave him a little mean look trying to get him to leave, but that didn't work. The mean mommy stare didn't help. So when you are maxing out your life, when you are doing your best, you're planting seeds in others to max out their life, to do their greatness. I hung out with a couple of my girlfriends yesterday, and we plant seeds. We're like our achieving, when I achieve something, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by Catherine. I want to go out and I want to do that. I want to be like Catherine when I grow up. And I'm like, I look at you and I'm like, oh my gosh, this aspect of you, like I want that. And we spur each other to greatness by us going after and being our best. But if I just sat back and I didn't max out my life and my potential because I was like, well, I don't want my girlfriends to be mad at me because I'm achieving this before they are. You know, they're like, oh, you've got 5 books. I've only written 1 book. Or, you know, it's like, it's not a contest. But it gets them to see that the possibilities are more open. And then my other friends, they have these different things going for them. I'm like, well, I want that. Now that I see that's possible for you, that makes me think that I can do it. So we're constantly planting seeds in others. And you know what the cool thing is? We're not meant to do life alone. God created us to be interdependent, to be dependent on one another. Yes, gluten-free. I figured you were gluten-free because your name on YouTube is gluten-free. That's great. So let me check out some of your comments. Mona's always giving massive hugs. We love her for that. I wished all people could be benevolent. Yeah, and the people that are like greedy, they think we're born in a bakery and not a garden. They think it's scarcity. They think, you know, the people that want to like take everybody's wealth and redistribute it equally to everyone else. That's not really how it works. They've done studies on this, and it has shown within a matter of just a few years, the wealth would be back in the hands of who it's already in. So it has to do with what you, not the amount of money you have, but what you do with the amount of money you have. And our education system is not great for teaching people. Like, our education system did not teach people how to invest, how to start businesses, how to balance a checkbook. They taught you just be good little worker bees and pay your bills, and they didn't teach you the real life skills you need to succeed and get ahead. But thank goodness we have books, and we have courses, and we have seminars, and we have stuff that we can learn to learn the stuff that we were deficient in learning in school. So, all right, so we're supposed to rely on each other. You know, when God created the whole earth and everything in it, it was over and over and over and over that he said, I created this and it was good, and I created that 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 and it was good. 7 times went through. And when he created human, he said, it is very good. Like, we were his favorite. He was done. He was like, it's good, 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 very good. And then you know what? The first time God said something is not good, do you know what it was? Type in the comments. Type in the comments if you know what God said is not good. The first time he said it's not good. Nicola, thank you so much for the gift. I do know that Shantae is on Cameo, and I know Aiden is on Cameo. Giovanna was talking about getting on. I don't know if she actually did or not, but you could look up their names on there and see. Minnie G says, how to overcome pressure from parents. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, so I don't have enough information to be able to answer that. So, okay. Did anybody type in what they think the answer is? Not good. Nicola wrote evil spirits. Okay, no. So the first time God said it's not good, it was when he said it is not good for man to be alone. We're meant to have each other. We're meant to have great relationships. We're meant to have wonderful fellowship. To, like the scripture says, do not forsake the assembling of the brethren. To get together, to hang out with people, to be friends, to inspire each other. When you're around the right people, when you leave, you feel better. You feel like you can accomplish more. You feel good about yourself. When you're hanging around the wrong people, it's a different story. So it is not good for man to be alone. And that's why he created Eve. He created Eve for Adam to come together, because it was not good for man to be alone. Right? So, let me see. Minnie G says, how to overcome stress when parents keep pressuring you, like to get good grades and all. Basically, how to overcome stress. I've been trying to overcome stress for a long time now. That's definitely something we all need to overcome. So part of stress definitely is expectations people can put on you. And then sometimes the stress is expectations we put on ourselves, or when someone has an expectation for us, what we think that means. So those are a couple things I want you to consider. Number one, can you have a conversation with your parents and say, Mom, Dad, I really love you, and I'm so grateful that I have someone like you in my life that wants me to succeed and wants me to do my best. And good grades are extremely important to me, just like they are to you. But sometimes when you come at me with that kind of pressure, it causes me a lot of stress, and it causes me a lot of anxiety, and it actually makes me do worse on my tests because I'm so fearful and so panicked of what your reaction is going to be if I don't get a good grade. Is there a way that I know what your expectations are for me to get these good grades, and they're my expectations too, but can we work together in some kind of way where you're encouraging me to get the good grades, or maybe even helping me study, rather than just laying down the hammer on me and putting this pressure on me? Because honestly, it's causing me a lot of stress and anxiety, and I'm not doing well, and And I'm not sharing this with you to condemn you or make you feel bad, but since you're my parents and I know you love me, I know you don't just care about my grades, but you care about my mental health and my state of well-being and my emotions. So can we come up with a plan together for me to be able to achieve these grades without feeling this kind of pressure? And have that honest communication with them. And when you express things to them, don't do it in a finger pointing way. Don't do it in a way where you're blaming them, like, you're putting all this pressure on me and I can't take it and it's too much. We never, even if we feel that way, we have to assume the best, right? Scripture tells us love believes the best. So even if someone is doing something that feels like very hurtful to us, don't go at them attacking them for what they're doing, because we don't know their motives. We don't know what's behind it. We don't know what's causing them to do what they're doing. So come at it like it's a partnership. Like, hey, Mom, Dad, I need your help. I need your help figuring something out. And I'm feeling kind of stressed and pressured about this, and maybe you can help me understand how I can feel less stressed about this. Like what we can do together to ensure that, I get the good grades, but don't feel that level of pressure and stress, because it's a lot on me. I've got the stress at school, then I've got this stress, and you just let them know. And when you pull them in, like, hey, can you help me solve this problem? Your parents would, like, if my kids came to me and was like, Mom, Dad, I'm feeling really stressed out and I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Right? That's one way to do it, right? If they're willing to come on board with you and, give you the support you need, great. Just make sure you're not pressuring yourself, because that's another aspect. Sometimes we put these self-induced pressures on ourselves. I'm guilty of this totally, a lot, all the time. I was putting so much pressure on myself, and I'm in this accountability group where we're working on our goals, and Tuesday nights we get on the phone, like, did you accomplish this? Did you accomplish that? What stopped you? What was standing in your way? What's blocking you? What are you going to accomplish next week? And it can be very like, oh my gosh, I didn't get it done. I don't want to go back to the group and say I didn't do it, and all that kind of stuff. And I was putting pressure on myself to reach this certain level of, to have this, like, people are asking me, well, how many books did you sell? And how many, and I'm like, I don't know, I didn't look. Well, you should know. I was like, well, I wasn't really I didn't create the book so I could sell 10 zillion copies, although that'd be great, because I think it helps a lot of people, but that wasn't my primary motive. So I'm not on there looking at my stats, I'm like, I just want to get it out there. I want to help the people that need to know that they can go after their dreams. They don't have to sabotage themselves and build everyone else's dreams and not their own. I want them to know their worth and their value. So it's a message worth getting out there, but I'm not on there looking like, ooh, did I do this? Did I not do this? Is this good enough? So your standards may be different than other standards, and you don't have to let their pressure and stress cause you to put more pressure and stress on you, because that was the third component of it. It's their stress you put on yourself, and then there's also what you make it mean. So if they say, you better get good grades, we expect you to have this, and you make that mean, if I don't get these good grades, they're not going to love me. They're not going to care about me. They're going to think I'm less. That may not even be a thought in their mind, but it's something we make up. Sometimes we get in disagreements with people. You'll do something, you'll say something, but they make it mean something else. This happened to me recently with someone I was dealing with, someone I decided I wasn't going to continue on with. They decided it means this, 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 and this, and that's not what it means. That's not what's in my heart. That's not what I think. But they concocted some version of me in their mind of what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and people are going to do that, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change people's minds, because what they're thinking is stemming from their past, what they grew up with, what they thought about, what they think of you. It has nothing really to do with you. So back to the topic of the bakery versus the garden, right? When we plant our seeds, we create more. We create more. And when we grow, there's two ways we grow, but there's only one way people see. This is important. Hey Tara, oh thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate your nice message. There's two ways we grow. We grow as a plant. We grow. Yes, I'm from Darman. Is it systemized? The name went by too fast. Two ways we grow as a plant. We grow phototropically, which is the part you can see, the tree that is up and out, but we also grow gravitropically. What does that mean? This is the part underground. These are the roots. This is the part underground where people can't see us. Gravitropic growing grows away from the light and towards gravity. Phototropic growing grows up into the light where everyone can see it. So here's what happens. A lot of times we only want to grow phototropically. We want everyone to see. This is very popular on social media. We want millions of followers. We want everyone to see we're this great, but we haven't done the work to grow our roots. We haven't done the work to grow gravitropically underground. And the growth underground, strengthening those roots, that's what makes the fruit possible. When we grow in the dark, you're growing down. You're not growing up yet. But if you don't grow down far enough first, you can't grow up high enough to be big enough, to be tall enough, to not fall over when wind comes. If you guys only want to grow on the outside so everyone can see how great you are and you get smacked into the limelight before you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually ready, when the first storm comes, that tree is going down. You're not going to be able to handle it. But we've seen this. We've seen this with different child stars who become famous at such a young age, and then you're like, what happened to them? And they go off kilter. They go woof. They want to be famous for being famous. And if you get famous right now, you're going to be famous for being terrible. This is what Myron said. This is notes I took at his workshop. You're going to be famous for being terrible because you haven't taken enough time to strengthen your roots. You know there's areas of your life you need to work on and you're not addressing them. You're turning a blind eye. You're like, I'll deal with that later. You got to deal with it now because something is going to come and it's going to bring it up. And if you haven't dealt with your pain, your trauma, your anger issues, you're going to blame other people. Because if you have an open wound that you haven't healed and it hasn't turned into a scar yet, I may just be going about my life doing my thing and something I do or say may bump your wound. Your wound isn't healed yet. So you get hurt and you blame me for hurting you when this is an open wound. Something I say may have triggered it, but I'm not responsible for your triggers. You are responsible to heal yourself so you're not walking through life as the walking wounded and then blaming everyone you come into contact with that hurts you because you didn't take the time to get healed from that wound. Is that a harsh message? I needed this message. I needed this message years ago. I had to get to this point to grow past that, to not blame everyone else. They hurt me, they said this. No one can hurt you unless you allow them to hurt you, unless you've given them permission. People should be able to say anything to you and not have it bother you because you're secure in who you are. You know who you are. You know the truth about yourself. You know your intent. So they can say whatever and you can just brush it off like, they don't even know me. And that's where we should get. When someone says something mean and nasty, we should be just like, they don't even know me. Thank God he knows me. Mona says, amen about not being responsible for triggers. I know someone at work who blames others and then makes themselves look like a victim. Oh yeah, people are great at doing that. So, becoming an overnight success. People talk about that term all the time. I had a friend that used to say it takes 7 to 10 years to be an overnight success. And I've seen multiple people who became famous. Kevin Hart, Viola Davis, different actors. And they were working at it for 20-some years. I was working my acting career for 20 years before I booked our man. I was like eating, sleeping, breathing, acting, going to every 1,000 auditions. I was in 150 projects, and I've had people like leave comments like, oh, so do you ever want to like do any other acting besides their man? I'm like, listen, I have done 150 other projects before I started. Like, people just act like you came out of nowhere, and they don't know the work you've been doing. They don't know you've been growing underneath to strengthen your roots before they saw you here with your fruit. Right? So, do you guys know about the bamboo? Bamboo is an interesting plant because it grows only gravitrophically for like years before the phototrophic even shows up. So people who plant bamboo, you may be working on something in your life that's important to you, and you've been working it and working it and working it, and people are like, this isn't paying off. This isn't releasing you're not getting any fruit from this. Just quit. Don't waste your time. Why are you doing this? And they don't know that you have to grow the roots before you can see the fruit. So a bamboo plant, you plant that seed. First year, you're watering it every day, nothing happens. The second year, you're watering it every day, nothing happens. The third year, you're watering it every day, nothing happens. Fourth year, you between year 3 and 4, you may get a couple little shoots, little sprouts. Year 5, you're watering it every day, nothing happens. Year 6, you're watering it every day, maybe a tiny little. People are like, why are you still working on this? Why are you still doing this? That plant is obviously not going to grow. Your dream is obviously not going to happen. Why are you bothering? And they say all this stuff because they don't know. You can't grow phototropically until you grow gravitrophically. You got to get your roots strengthened first. You got to go deep into the ground in order to grow up. So bamboo can take between 5 and 15 years before it even gets growing to its full stature. It may not be until year 5, 6, or 7 that it starts to grow up. This is the same for you. What are you working on down here that people don't see? This hasn't come yet. You're working down here, and it's going to take time. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Maybe it's peaking out at year 5, year 6, year 7, 20 years, and wow! Do you know that once the bamboo tree starts growing, when it has reached and established its roots, it then will grow, this is going to blow your mind, 36 inches every 24 hours. What? A bamboo is going to grow 3 feet every day. That's the size of Eli. That's a little person. So you got an Eli the first day, you got an Eli on top of him the second day, and Eli on top of him the third day. It explodes, and people are like, you are an overnight success. Like, they think it's not fair. How did you get this growth this quick? They don't know the years you were growing down here. They didn't know your pain, your hurt, your tears, your sorrow, the self-work you did, the books you read, the seminars you attended, the work you were doing behind the scenes that nobody could see. You had to establish yourself first. I hope this is an encouraging word for you. Yes, it takes patience, Jay. It takes patience to grow bamboo. And here's the thing. You got to grow in the dark. I know we all want to be on social media in the limelight. Look at me, see me. But you got to grow in the dark, because otherwise, what is there to see? Woohoo, I'm doing this awesome thing. Okay, great. How is that helping your future, your career, your whatever? Are you just showing off that you can have fun? What are you doing for humanity? How are you growing yourself in the dark so that you can serve others at the highest capacity? You have to be faithful day in and day out when nobody knows your name. Do you know I was on YouTube making these inspirational videos when nobody knew who I was? Back when I had 34 followers, I was on here making advice videos, helping people, life coaching them, when nobody knew who I was. I don't even know where I got the 34 followers from. I think it was from other acting projects I had done before Dhar Mann. You have to grow in the dark. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear, go sit in a dark room and work on yourself and work on your goals and practice and get good for years before you can be out. Nobody wants to hear that. But that's what the best do. You don't want people to find out about you when you've got nothing to find out about, right? You have to be prepared when the time comes. You have to be prepared. You can't just go seeking the opportunity, seeking the marketing, getting like, I want this video to go viral, I want this, like, but what have you done? Like, what do you have to offer when your opportunity comes? As Myron likes to say, if you're prepared when your time comes, it will reveal you. If you're not prepared when the time comes, it will expose you. Oh, this person that just blew up, they've got nothing to offer. Get that thing to offer first. Get that thing that makes you great. And here's the thing, amateurs practice, this is a Myron Golden quote, amateurs practice until they get it right. But professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. Are you only putting in the minimum? Are you only putting in the minimum amount of hours? You gotta go all the way. You gotta go through all the cycles. Listen, what would happen if you washed your clothes, but you didn't let it go through all the cycles? The clothes wouldn't be clean. So, and when you don't let yourself grow down far enough and get the roots far enough, you're not gonna grow sweet fruit. You're gonna grow bitter fruit. Okay, somebody's asking me, NNP, do you have to go to college to work at Dhar Mann? I never went to college for anything. Not for acting, not for anything. So, you may be in a dark season right now, but don't let that dark season cause you fear and anxiety and confusion. Keep your prayer life up. Keep your connection with God strong. Talk to Him. Tell Him, this is what I want. This is what I want to become. Show me what I need to do. Show me what I need to fix. Show me how to get better at me, at what I'm doing. Show me what I need to get to that next level. I'm constantly praying, show me what's blocking me. What's blocking me? What did I make my ceiling? Because God, I know you want my ceiling to become my floor. You want me to stand on top of what previously held me back. Can you get real with yourself? Can you take some time to get real with yourself? Mona says, be ambitious and tenacious. Yes. Can you take some time today to get real with yourself? To turn off the social media, to turn off the TV, to turn off the movies, to turn off the video games, grab a notebook and start journaling your feelings, start writing. Okay, God, I want that next level of success. I want to max out every area of my life. I want to be the greatest I can be. I don't want to play small to make it so others don't feel a certain way about me. They're going to feel how they're going to feel regardless, whether you play small or whether you play to your full potential. If you play small, they're going to be like, oh, they could have done so much more with their life. And then you do more with your life, they're like, oh, they're just being a show-off. You're not going to make anyone happy. So why don't you make yourself happy? Nothing you do is going to please everyone. So why don't you please yourself? And first, please God. Because He called you. He created you for such a time as this to accomplish what only you can accomplish. So, if you want to get the harvest, if you want to have the fruit, if you want to grow phototropically, you got to plant the seed. And planting the seed can sometimes be painful. You got this little seed. You're putting it in the ground and you don't see it for a long time. And then the seed dies. That's part of the growing process. You have to die to yourself. In order for the seed to crack and open up and start to sprout, you have to plant it, you have to let it be. You have to let die other people's opinions of you. You have to let die other people's expectations of you. You even have to let die what you think it's supposed to look like. And that can be painful. When I moved to California 20 plus years ago to be an actor, I thought I would be on big movies. I thought I would just be like the next, I don't know who was popular 20 years ago, Julia Roberts or Sandra Bullock or something. And that wasn't the path. That wasn't the path God had me on. And there was years when I would feel bad about it, where I would cry, where I'd feel like, what am I doing wrong? How come I don't measure up? Da, 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 da. And I'm writing about this in the book. I'm doing a book right now about Hollywood and what it's like to be part of the 98%. And we'll talk about that later. 98% of actors in Hollywood do not make a full-time living at acting. 98%. That's a conversation for a whole nother day. When my book is ready, we'll talk more about that. But you have to die to what you think it's supposed to look like and what you think it's supposed to be. So, rain is going to come, snow is going to come, and all of that is needed to bring forth a plant that's going to grow properly. If you only have sunshine all the time, you will dry up and wither away. God brings production. He brings the produce. So be faithful to plant your seed, to stick yourself in the ground, to grow in the dark when nobody sees you, when no one is watching, to get... Some of you guys, you're on here and you're thinking, how does she have this wisdom? How does she know all this stuff? How does she, she didn't go to college. How does she, know all these things? So I took that time to grow my roots underground. I had years of crying and journaling and learning and reading and asking God, change me. How do I become, what do I need to do? And I had that alone time for years and years and years and years that, when you grow down your roots for decades, it's easy for people to think that you they have some wisdom. How did they get that? It's because I didn't spend the time on the superficial, trying to impress people, trying to get them to think I'm something and did it. I spent that time going deep with myself and with God, and I encourage you, do that for yourself. The best thing you could do for yourself after establishing a relationship with God is establishing a relationship with yourself. Do not hide from yourself. Do not try to numb yourself down with food or drugs or alcohol or social media and getting those dopamine hits. Pull away. Get naked with yourself. I don't mean physically, but pull all the layers off that you've been hiding. You've been hiding yourself, and you've been hiding yourself. For what? Now is your time to shine. Now is your time to grow. Now is your time to be the greatest you can be. Live true. Love hard and shine bright. You are worthy of every good thing God has to offer. Love you guys. See you in 2 weeks. Next week, I don't think I'm available next week. We'll keep you posted. Bye.